Hey folks, welcome. Good to see everybody. I want to introduce you all to my dear friend and colleague, Ann Hessian, who is just as far as I am concerned, a giant in the energy healing industry. And I know a lot of you out there are healers of different kind. Look, Ann is doing amazing stuff, right? There's a reason I'm on with her today. There's a reason I'm working with her and have been and hope to for many years to come. She's doing great things in the world of energy healing, in the industry itself, to build the industry, to make it more accepted, to teach healers, to build your business, to make you more visible. You name it, Ann's helping you guys with it. And coming up next week is the Energy Healing Leadership Conference, which is a brand new, amazing opportunity that is just, it seems to be just exploding in size. And it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going crazy in terms of the number of people you have speaking, the number of people who are attending, the big names and influencers that I see on there. And so I will be speaking at the conference next week on the legal side of the business. As you guys who follow me know, I'm an attorney, and so I'm excited to be doing that. But I'm here today because I want Ann to tell you more about the conference itself. So Ann, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how this conference came about.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. I will try to step into being the giant. I'll take that on and see what I can do with it.
Yeah, do it. Own it.
So I am an energy healer myself, medical intuitive. I got all the woo woo going on, and I am a sales expert. I'm a heart-centered sales expert, and those two things don't go together that often, right? It tends to be, most healers, I find, are essentially what I call allergic to sales, right? And even in marketing and almost every aspect of business. And that makes it hard, right? It makes it hard for them they have this work that they love, right? It's like their soul's calling on the planet, but they struggle to be able to do it for a living, right? Because of those things. So that's really what I'm called to do. My mission is to heal the business of healing and help healers to really be able to make their difference they're here to make, be paid well for it, and really be able to do a lot of it because they don't need to go have some other job to support themselves. So
Yeah.
that's what's been engaging most of my time and energy over the last several years. And I love, love, love doing that. And what about this conference, right? So the conference kind of grew out of that. Here's the story. About a year or so ago, I was just noticing, it's like, God, there doesn't seem to be a lot of good information about healers. Like, there isn't data on healers. No one seemed interested in studying us. Right? So coaches, for example, tons of great data on coaches, other people, but it's like, I feel like there's this incredible explosion and wave of growth in the world of energy healing. That's what I see. I feel like energy healers are just coming out of the woodwork, right? And there's so many opportunities, so many different modalities to study. Those are coming out of the woodwork, ancient things, new things. And so to me, it's like there's this huge wave happening, but I couldn't prove it, right? Because like I said, no one's really kind of studying it. So I was like, it would be really good if we could understand our own industry better. We could understand, like, who are all the healers out there, and what do they need, and how can they be supported better. And so it really just started as this idea of doing a sounds kind of boring, but like a survey, right? Like a really good survey of energy healers. So I was talking to other people like myself who are healers and who support, who train them, who certify them, who insure them, who help them with their business. And everyone I spoke to was like, that's a great idea. I'm on board, I'll send that out. And it just kind of kept growing into bigger and other things, we'll have a directory of resources, all these things. And toward the end of last year, I was like, okay, we really have to start making this happen. And it's kind of funny, but I basically sat down. I thought that I was going to be creating a PowerPoint. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. I'm just going to have a PowerPoint, a little presentation to some of the bigger people in the industry to explain, why we need to do this, right? And a friend who was kind of helping me move along so I would do it, I don't know, 3 weeks into it, she looked at what we'd written so far and she emailed me and she said, Ann, you're writing a manifesto. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Pretty sure that's not what I'm doing. But I looked and I read it. I was like, you're right. This is kind of a manifesto. And so and she's like, you just need to own it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to own it. So I wrote it. And here's what the manifesto boils down to. that there is this wave. This wave is happening, and we're in the wave, so we can't see it. You know, you can't really see it, or you can only see what you can see when you're inside it. And that we really can't, those of us who are healers, who want energy healing to be available in the world, we can't afford to just ride the wave.
Mm.
We have to be thinking ahead. What's coming next, right? What's going to be possible 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now? How can this have a lasting impact? We don't want it to just be kind of a like, it happened and then it's over. And I really feel like it could go a couple different ways. And perhaps slightly oversimplifying, but I think this is pretty sound. It could go the way I'd like it to go, which is what I would call the Renaissance, right? Where energy healing becomes more and more validated, more and more accepted. Really good, you know, there are hospitals where they do Reiki, you know, in the hospital. And there's also hospitals where they'll be like, get out of here. You know? But what if that became the norm, right? What if it really revolutionizes around the world health and healthcare and what's available for people? That's what I want, right? The other way it could go, however, is that it gets kind of shoved back underground, which is where it's been for the last few hundred years, at least in the Western world. It really could get regulated out of existence to a certain degree. And I want to be really clear, that's not said from a place of fear, because that's not going to help anything, but it is important to recognize the realities of the different pressures and you know, things that could make stuff like that happen. So my contention is that it's what we do now, like now, and in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be the single biggest determining factor. We have to start working together. We have to start, like in the world of energy healing, everyone's off doing this amazing stuff, extraordinary, transformational stuff in their own kind of little silos. And we have to start working together and create that future proactively together. So that is what gave birth to the Energy Healing Leadership Conference.
I love it. And I love how you talk about it in terms of a wave that we're in the middle of and how we have to be careful not to just ride it. Like if we get on our surfboards and ride the wave, that's great fun for a bit. And then the wave crests and goes down and we all go home. And I guess, you know, if that's what we want, fine, but I don't think it is what we want. I don't think we want the wave to just crest and then we just go back to normal life, right?
Yeah.
I think we want it to keep going, and it's not going to keep going all by itself. This isn't magic. You know, we have to decide what we want and put in the work to make it happen, or it won't happen. That's just, you know, even all the best law of attraction teachers will teach you that stuff is not magic. It's not just, you know, magic fairy dust thinking. You have to do it.
Yes.
So and the other thing I love about this conference, it's this setting this intention, it's deciding what we want for the future and start coming together. And I love also that you're bringing together puzzle pieces. I feel right now like the energy healing industry, it's like the picture on the front of a puzzle box. It's beautiful, but you open the box and it's just pieces everywhere, and all the pieces are there.
Really good analogy, actually.
And I just, you know, the pieces are all in there in the box, but we don't sit down and put them together. Again, that's not going to happen by itself.
No, it's not. And
we have to bring all that together.
In the process of writing all of that, what I got clarity about is there are 4 what I would call the pillars of energy healing sustainability. And this kind of speaks, they're kind of the 4 corners. You know how you always get the corners first in the puzzle?
There you go. Yeah.
So here's what I see as the 4 pillars. The first is the education, the modalities themselves, right? If you think about energy healing, for which a lot of things that we would now put under the umbrella term of energy healing weren't called that 300 years ago, right? They were called witchcraft in some case, or they were called different things, or faith, different things like that. But they're all in that umbrella of what I'm saying. And because it was so sometimes squashed, sometimes repudiated. I don't know any healers who don't have in their DNA trauma around, you know, having been, you know, hung or burnt at the stake or whatever, because they, you know, did their healing work. So because that's, that history is there in the background, not only is there the trauma, but there's also, think of all the healing wisdom that got lost over the centuries. because there wasn't a mechanism for it to be carried forward, and it just got lost. We may never recover some of that. So the education part is so important, that there are schools, that there are classes that people are, able to pass on what they've learned and expand it. So that's one pillar, right? Is the education and the modalities themselves. And then the second one is the legal and regulatory side, which is the side most healers really don't want to deal with. Right? And but it's super important. That's one of the things that you're going to be speaking about at the conference. But we have to not have our heads in the sand about it. We need to accept that the legal and regulatory is real and should be there. There should be some regulations around this sort of stuff, but we need a seat at the table. We need a voice in how those laws are written, right? And then the third pillar is the research side, which is very fascinating. And one of the things that I learned in pulling together this conference is that there are actually over 15,000 published studies around energy healing. Like, I had no idea there was
I would
that
have had no idea.
Yes. So when come to the conference, because you're going to learn about that, we're actually going to get an overview of all of that, like an overview of what is the state of research in energy healing, and how individual energy healers out there in the field doing their can actually contribute to research through case studies. So that's a really exciting thing that's coming out of the conference. And then the fourth pillar is the part that, I am so involved in, which is healing the business of healing. Right, and helping energy healers to be able to effectively, that dreaded S word, sell, right? To be able to market, to be able to reach people and make the difference, and be paid well to do it. Mm-hmm. So all of our speakers were asked to be speakers at the conference because of their expertise and leadership and even visionary work in one or more of those four pillars.
I'm speechless because I don't know how you pulled this together. I don't know how you came up with it. And it's just, it's all, you've done it all so fast. I mean, this has just been a wild ride for you.
It has. It also actually all come together with startling rapidity.
Yeah, but I think it's, I think the fact that you have pulled this together so fast and put together all these pieces and brought together all these people and get all these people signed up shows that you're right about, we're in the crest of this wave, right? Yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do this. And
100%,
yeah. And so this wave is happening. We're in the middle of it. And I hadn't even thought about it until I talked to you a few months ago, and you talked about it in terms of the wave. And I'm like, you're right. I'm just a fish swimming in the water. I don't know, there's no wave around, it's just more water, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we have to be able to step back and breathe some air and look at it and say, oh my gosh, no, this is a wave, and we can't just let it crest, then go back. Or then again, all this knowledge is lost, all this good work is lost, and then, then some generation 300 years from now to start all over, instead of building on the foundation that's here now. So I'm excited about the conference. I'm so glad you're doing it. Thanks for talking to me for a few minutes. So I will be dropping a link for those of you that want to check it out. Mm-hmm. Would love to see you guys there. Anything else you want them to know about the conference?
Yeah, no, just actually there's a couple different options for attending. You can get an absolutely free ticket and just attend live. It's live online, first of all. I guess we didn't actually say that. So it's April 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and it is online. So you can attend in your pajamas for all I care. It's no worries. And if you, what I recommend is that you do the VIIIP option, which is very important, intuitive, inspired person. And that is, it's $97, but it's actually only $77 until the conference starts. And not only do you get the recordings, which you are going to want because of these extraordinary speakers, but you also get some healer success and abundance group sessions with me before the conference and the recordings of those. You get actually a free trial of some really amazing software that's to help healers run their business in a smoother way. So you have a free trial of that to see if that's something that you want to do. And also you get the energy healing extravaganza. So you actually have the opportunity for 10 days after the conference, from April 6th through the 15th, we have an amazing array of featured practitioners and a whole bunch of different healing modalities. And if you have that VIP, ticket, you will be able to book 20-minute sessions with a whole bunch of different healers, kind of as many as works for you, over a period of 10 days. So, I mean, it's just a ridiculous bargain.
That's,
And you are a VIIIP. You are a very important, intuitive, inspired person. So own that and join us.
Own it. Yeah. And that's, so again, for those of you, if you want to register for free, that's great. Come attend. If you want the VIIIP, I don't know how that even covers your cost at $97 a person. That's crazy, how much you get for that. So everybody check it out. I highly encourage you. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching, and I hope to see you guys there next week.
Everyone.